everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to review The Boys Season 3, Episodes 1 to 3. Yeah, Episodes 1 to 3. Now, The Boys is an insane show. This show, kind of like, honestly, there's a couple shows on Amazon that got some notoriety. There's a couple shows. There's some shows that have gotten some Emmy nods and whatnot. But The Boys took, like, The Boys and Invincible to a lesser extent took this concept of, like, because right now in the superhero game, Marvel MCU is king. They're top dogs because they make the most money. They have the biggest. They've had the most success. They're top dogs. But the MCU is more catered to families and everyone. Like, everyone can watch an MCU movie. Now, I know some people might debate that after watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm not quite sure that is for kids. That one. But for the most part, they're usually family friendly. You know, you don't have there's not any sex scenes. I mean, the worst sex scene we've gotten in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was fucking in Eternals, and that was like kind of a brief thing. But the reason I bring up Marvel is because it opened the door. The success of the MCU and the brightness and the bright colors and the funny and the jokes kind of opened the door for The Boys to become this polar opposite thing. First of all, like, playing up all the aspects, all the fears, all the cynicism that most people, everyday people, have about superheroes. Everyone has that thought that if superheroes existed in real life, they'd be terrible people because they have so much power that no one possibly with that kind of power could also be a good person. And they play that up big time. Homelander obviously being this allegory to Superman, and if someone had Superman's powers, there's no way in hell they would be a good human being. They'd be this asshole. They'd be this asshole with a god complex. They'd do the thing. They'd be scary. And like, all these elements come together to make The Boys one of the most unique and standout shows, comic book properties of all time. And the shows got nominated for Best Drama, which is not something you see coming from any superhero show. Daredevil didn't get nominated for that. None of the MCU Marvel shows have gotten nominated for that. None of the DC shows have gotten nominated for that. So, like, that's not something you see very often. And, you know, honestly, it deserves all the love and notoriety. Sometimes it does come off a bit like it leans too heavily on we're anti-Marvel, we're anti-superhero, you know, sometimes they get a little too heavy with it, but for the most part, they handle it super well. These are well-written characters. It's fun. Carl Urban is amazing. I think, I can't remember that actor who plays Homelander's name. I think, is it Martin Starr? I can't remember who his name is, but that guy is amazing as Homelander. I mean, he's great. And the show itself has just it's grown in popularity. I mean, they got a spin-off coming. They have a animated spin-off. They got a spin-off. They got another kind of spin-off coming. Like, this show is really picking up steam on Amazon. And it's one of the most watched shows all year long, just because of the things they do in this show. And I say all that to say that season 3, so far, 3 episodes in, it ups the ante with certain aspects. Like, put it this way. The first episode, within the first 15 minutes of the first episode, there are 3 sex scenes and an absolutely gory, bloody death within the first 15 minutes of the show. First 15 minutes. I'm not bullshitting you. First 15 minutes of the show, there are 3 sex scenes and a gory, brutal, disgusting death. That happened in the middle of a sex scene. And this show is bonkers. And, like, this show, like, it's the definition of, particularly that first episode. I do think the first episode is actually a tad bit better than the other two, than episodes 2 and 3. Because episode 1, they just put all the chips to the table. You know, they did what you're supposed to do, which is, like, they, like, put all of the best elements of this show up front. Carl Urban's Billy Butcher, up front. You know, all of it up front. Homelander up front. You know, Huey and Starlight's very cute, very lovable, very root for relationship up front. You know, they put all the craziness up front. Gory, you know, crazy shit that you would never see in a normal... Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for the first episode. There's a character in the show called, I believe he's called Termite. He shrinks to a tiny little man. He's Ant-Man, basically. And, like, at a certain point, Termite, he's a gay cat. He's gay. But at a certain point, Termite, and, like, it was like, granted, this whole thing was an accident. It was an accident, technically. It was an accident. Termite crawls into his lover's penis. I'm not bullshitting you. He crawls into it. There's, like, this cut angle of... Now, I know it must have been weird to film this in real life, because, like, they just made the inside of a dick. I don't know. But he crawls into it. And I guess when he sneezes, he can't control himself and he expanded. And he completely blew that dude's lower half of his body out. It was nuts. This is the show we were talking about here, people. The show it's just getting Gary. It's just getting more and more daring with what they're trying to do. I swear, by the time you're done watching these 3 episodes, you're gonna wish you think you need to take a shower. It's just pushing and pushing and pushing what they can do and what you can get away with. Like, honestly, they just keep pushing it. And when you think they can't push it anymore, they push it and they push it and they push it again. And it's like the whole thing, the absurdity is held together by these fun characters, by these great performances, by these characters that you have grown, especially if you watch season 1 and 2, you've grown to care about and think about. And it's just crazy. But anyways, the actual setup of the show, it takes place a year later after the events of season 2. And all the boys are in different places in their lives. Like, for instance, you know, Billy is calmed down. He's working for the government now. Like, they've kind of created like this, I don't know. They kind of created this like unit that are like to police supers. Like, they've kind of created this like entire division in the Federal Bureau to just police super people and not kill them, but police them. And Billy's heading it up. He's heading up this task force with Frenchie and I always forget her name, but with Frenchie and the I guess Korean girl with Frenchie and I can't remember her name. And like they're hitting up super. That's when that event that I just told you about with that termite guy happens, actually, when they're investigating him. And Huey's working there. Huey's like their handler, and it's like, okay, cool. Like, they're all in different places. Huey and Starlight are a public relationship. They seem like they've been in a loving, happy relationship. Everyone's trying to get their shit together. Everyone feels like they're in a good spot. It seems like everyone other than Homelander, who is essentially slowly losing his fucking mind, because after the events of season 2, when it was revealed that Stormfront was, a Nazi, and that kind of hurt Homelander a lot. I mean, it really, really hurt Homelander. The reveal that Stormfront is a Nazi, that it really fucked him up. It really, it didn't really fuck him up personally, but it fucked up his image. And if you know anything about Homelander, his image, being loved is everything to him. It's the main thing to him. Like, honestly, it's the big main thing to him. It's everything to him. So, his image has taken a hit. And meanwhile, someone whose image has taken an uptick, which is good because, it makes sense, is Starlight. Where Starlight was involved in unveiling all that happened and whatnot. So Starlight ended up looking like $1 million coming out of the events of season 2. And her star is rising. It's rising to the point where Vought's like, actually, she should probably be the leader of the group because your star is dimming because people are like, you're fucking Nazi, you're fucking a Nazi, and all these other stuff to Homelander. And they got all this video, and if you've seen season 2, they have this video evidence to hold over Homelander because he loves his image more than anything. And clearly they've been holding this over him for the entire year. The entire year they've been holding this over him. And the plan kind of backfires. I won't tell you how, but you can just tell that he's starting to become slowly, because they keep pushing him, because, obviously they feel like they have leverage over him, so they don't have to fucking like be scared of him. And you know, the CEO of Vought, played by Giancarlo Esposito, like he's just like, man, fuck him. Like he knows he ain't gonna do anything because he knows he cares about his image. But at a certain point in the show, you can just slowly seeing him starting to care less and less, and that's not what you want. You like Homelander has one weakness, and it's his insecurity, and it's his uncontrollable desire to be loved. But if you take that away from him, and he doesn't have that anymore, well, then there's nothing to stop him. Because without those insecurities and his uncontrollable desire to be loved, there's nothing stopping him from just killing everyone. And that point starts to become apparent. And like, it starts to become apparent that whatever leverage they had over Homelander to contain him, to hold him down, because they made a point early in the first episode in particular that since last year, superhero violence and superhero crime's gone down like 60%. Because they open up this bureau and Homeland and they got leverage on Homelander, they got leverage on all of them. You know, they're able to control them a bit more. Like that's kind of become the point. They've been able to control him and all of them a bit more. Problem is, like I said, Homelander is getting a little, Meanwhile, Billy is dealing with a lot too. Butcher's dealing with a lot. Butcher's trying to work his way through a lot. He's trying to calm down. He's trying to not be, let the anger go. And he starts to, at a certain point, he does start to sort of kind of start to lean towards letting it go. He does near the end of the first episode, but something happens that lights that fire up again, and we're back at it. And you knew it was gonna be that, like, because the first episode is like, dude, something's gonna go wrong. Because it's like, look, if Billy's not angry, if Homelander is muzzled, then this ain't much of a show. Like, if Homelander's scared and they got something over him, so he has to buck a buck, this ain't much of a show. And if Billy calms down and lets his anger go and just becomes a dad to that fucking, to the kid, there's no show. So you knew something was gonna happen, and it does. And like, I don't want to spoil anything else for you guys. I would say I'd give episodes 1 to 3 of fucking The Boys. It's getting a 10 from me, man. Let's get the 10 from me, man. I'm enjoying it thoroughly so far. It's the best show so far this year, at least 3 episodes in. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. Like, between watching this, Obi-Wan and dude, next week is gonna be so fucking lit. Like, I get to watch Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel on Wednesday, and then I get to watch The Boys on Friday. Damn. Loving it. Loving this content. Need more. I need something else. I need something else. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and have you seen The Boys Season 3? Comment below and let me know what you think of it. Do you think it's better than the other 2 seasons, or do you think it's on par? Do you think it's crazier? Because I will tell you right now, I feel like I need to take a second shower after finishing just 3 episodes. Apparently there's 8. After 3, I feel like taking a shower. Anyways, again, thank you guys for joining my Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.